Hi everybody! In this video, I'm going to be going through the notes for Lesson 8.7, number 2. I apologize for misnumbering these in your packet, but as long as your page looks like this and you know you're looking at the right problems, you should be okay. Today's idea is solving equations with variables on both sides. So what's going to make these equations different than the other equations that we've been looking at is that instead of just having an x on the left or just having an x on the right, we're going to have x's on both sides. For example, in this example problem, if you draw a vertical line through your equal sign, which is the same way we always start solving equations, and then you look for the x, you're going to notice there's an x on the left side of that line and an x on the right side. So let's talk about how we would solve this problem. It turns out we have a new first step. The first step before you do anything else is going to be to get all of your variable terms together on one side of the equation. So here's how we can make that happen. And it doesn't matter whether you move everything to the left or move everything to the right, but here's what we're going to do. I want to make the x's be together. Since they're on different sides, I need to move it or remove it from one side and move it to the other side. What I'm going to do is undo this positive 3x right here. Now, since the opposite of a positive is a negative, I'm going to minus 3x on both sides. When I do that, here's what ends up happening. On the right-hand side, these 3x's cancel, and the only thing that's left is negative 7. On the left-hand side, 6x minus 3x is 3x. And then we bring down the plus 2. Now, after that move, you'll notice this new equation that we're looking at here looks exactly the same as the equations that we were solving before, where we used 2 steps to solve them. So, in order to solve this equation, I need to get the x by itself. Now, there are 2 numbers by x. There's the 3 and there's the 2. We always start by undoing the number that is farthest from x. So we subtract the 2 on both sides. When we do that, on the left side, the 2's cancel, and we just bring down the 3x. On the right side, negative 7 minus 2 is negative 9. Then, since this is a multiplication problem, we're going to divide in order to get the x by itself. Sorry, it should say divide by 3. I'm not sure why I just wrote a 2, honestly. Divide by 3. When we do that, the 3's cancel on the left-hand side, and we get x. And on the right-hand side, negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. Since the x is by itself now, we know that we're done with this problem, and we can say the value is negative 3. Let's try a few more problems where we can see how to get the variables together before we start solving. So let's take a look at number 1 here. Again, I'm going to start by drawing my vertical line through my equal sign, and then I'm going to look for my x. In this problem, when I look for x, I notice there's x's on both sides. So my first move is going to be to get the x's together. I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides because the opposite of positive 4x is negative 4x. The 4x's cancel on the right, and I'm just going to have 23. On the left, negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7x, and then I'm just going to drop down the minus 5. Now this equation looks exactly like the equations I've been solving. So my first move here is going to be to add the 5 on both sides because I always start with the number that is farthest away from x. When I do that, the 5's cancel, and 23 plus 5 is 28. Then I'm going to drop down my negative 7x. And then I'm going to divide by negative 7. When I do that, I get that the negative 7's cancel, so I just have x. And 28 divided by negative 7 is negative 4. And I'm done. Let's take a look at problem number 2. Again, I'm going to draw a vertical line through my equal sign. Then I'm going to find my variable. In this case, the problem doesn't have an x, it actually has an m. So instead of looking for where the x's are, I'm going to look for where the m is. Again, I have m's on both sides. So my first move is going to be to get my m's together. I'm going to subtract 5m on both sides. And when I do that, I get 13 minus 5m is 8m. And I'm going to drop down the negative 8. On the right-hand side, the 5m's cancel, and I get negative 22. Then I'm going to add 8 on both sides, which means that I get 8m equals, and negative 22 plus 8 is going to be negative 14. Then I'm going to divide by 8, and I get m equals, and negative 14 divided by 8 is 1.75. Oh, negative. Sorry. All right, one last example. So we're going to draw a vertical line through this equal sign. We're going to notice that on the left-hand side there's an n, and on the right-hand side there's an n, but we're also going to notice that there's a parentheses. When there's a parentheses, before we can do anything else, we need to distribute. So we're going to have 5n plus 10 equals 4 plus 2n. Now I can deal with getting my n's together. So in order to get the n's together, I'm going to subtract 2n on both sides. When I do that, 5n minus 2n is 3n plus 10, which is equal to 4. And on the right-hand side, the 2n's cancel. Then I'm going to subtract 10 on both sides to get n by itself. And on the left side, the 10's are going to cancel. And on the right side, we've got negative 6. And we're going to bring down the 3n. And then last but not least, we actually need to do another step here and divide by 3 in order to get the n by itself. So my 3's cancel, and we get n equals negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. All right, that is it for today's video. Please try the practice problems. And again, I apologize for misnumbering. You're going to try the practice problems, which are called 8.7, but it's really 8.7, the second one, because I misnumbered your packet. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.